Welcome to another collective reading for the week of May 3rd to May 9th of 2026. Now, this is a collective reading, so take what resonates. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's fine also. Again, I know my messages reach who they're meant to, and of course, which includes myself, this is more of an energetic reading, as most of my readings are a guidance, a nod from my guides, the universe, and the spirits and powers that be, and most of all, message delivered and channeled through myself. So, with that being said, that yes, this might be for this current week, but you may, if this appears to you somehow in the future, realize that maybe it has some bits of truth, wisdom, or may have found you for a certain reason and applied to that time period. Just because you're weekly doesn't mean that they can't be timeless, just as other things and aspects in life. So, with that being said, the decks that presented themselves this week to be used to be read, and I pulled from before, so I know the general flavor of the reading, but I will read the cards as they come. As the lovely uh, excuse my lighting, but the lovely Void Tarot, which is an indie deck, the lovely Haunted Manor Oracle by Syrian Shadows. Obviously, we know this is my favorite Oracle deck, and it's upside down. Oh well, yeah. So, this is my favorite Oracle deck. You know it's been featured on my channel if you've seen any of my channels or channel. Any of my videos and readings for a hot minute, this is my favorite. This is out of print. I wish it wasn't. I would get myself a second copy as a backup. And lastly, here another Syrian Shadows deck, which is Mass Market. Also one of my favorite Oracle decks and most used and complementary to my decks, my readings, and a good clarifier, but a good message in herself. So with this week on here, the cards that presented themselves, first of all from the beautiful, lusty Void Tarot, is, we're just going to see with the framing here, that is Death. The Death card has made quite an appearance, especially for the last week in several of my own personal pulls. So, not surprising it came up here as I'm part of a collective, but also how this collective traditionally applies for readings, energies, circumstances, personal gnosis, evolution, and experiences. So, death. Death is not necessarily, and very rare occasion, is it illness or physical death. It is change, transformation, transitional energies. The threshold, the void, the beginning is the end is the beginning, as is the Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail. There's always cyclical energies of birth, life, death, and rebirth, in life itself that's tangible, but also metaphorically in the different stages of our life, Mother Earth, the universe, the moon. Quite obvious things that we can see, but things within ourselves, our relationships, the different phases and transitions of our life. That is the Nine of Wands. Wands here is having to do with wands of fire, the element of fire. That is will, action, planning, um, movement and momentum, motivation, um, the driving will, the true will, the steps you take. Perhaps sometimes the steps that you take. Some things that can be fire, just like the element of fire, ones can be very burning and scathing and overwhelming, but they can also be a great motivator, a great amount of strength, truth, and what drives us, a driving force, much like the chariot. And of course, the third tarot card that came up was the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is and representative of the element of water. So the element of water is emotional, it is perception married with perspective, relationships, emotions, cognitive understanding through emotions and reactions and experiences, unity, flow of energy, flow of thought, flow of emotions, flow of circumstances. So we have fire and water elements to go along with death. Death is associated with water as it's a Scorpio is its ruling sign. So got a bit of emotional and water energy this week. And just what presents itself is the Haunted Manor. Again, these are just a show before getting to the actual reading. That is the Locket, cherish the moment. So cherish the present, cherish the moment, the experiences, and what one has, what doesn't, and even the moments you may have had before. It's all about being present into the current life experience you're in and the good, the bad, the in between, but cherish what you can and what you have and what you've accomplished. And lastly is The Apprentice. This is, of course, from the Earth and Bone Oracle. And this keyword for this is higher education, beliefs, and wisdom. So, with that being said, the messages this week, or the message and clarity, so that this collective and whom this may resonate with, apply to, or may at least be a guide to, as it is for myself, and I hope it is for those that find this or find fruits of knowledge in this, just to have a more through the circumstances that flow and present themselves, the daily actions, interactions that we must experience as men, women, humans, or no matter how we I identify. Wow, yeah, channeling. That's what happens. And so basically, um, in that aspect, it is basically saying the wisdom you have, what you've obtained through experience. Again, this collective I always read for and connect for has lived through experience, interaction, and learning. Book knowledge, yes, but they've learned in school, college, um, personal things that they've taken, courses, advice they've taken from others, internet, etc., other creators. But most of all, it's the wisdom you learn from yourself, your experience, your perceptions, and your perspectives, and that higher discernment. That's what that higher education is. It's taken in your truth and discerning it. It is the beliefs and recognizing how your beliefs may change overall and have changed from the past into the present this week. You'll notice, or this collective is going to notice a lot, that your beliefs and the wisdom they carried, that they have more discernment with that, and that your beliefs have changed to evolve, to accommodate and help them flow through the present, to be more like the celebratory energies of the Three of Cups that came up there. Now, again, with the Nine of Wands, there is the indicator of a consistent having to move forward with very mindful energies, because it's not the Ten of Wands where it's burnt out or overwhelmed, but it can be indicators to be mindful not to over push yourself. That you have the strength to push through and forward, but mindfully and effectively by applying your energy, your will, your actions, and strengths in the right direction. Continuing to move and not being active, but doing so with mindfulness. Despite wounding, health issues, life issues, relationship issues, not being able to do the same stuff you may have been able to do even a couple months ago or a couple years ago, doesn't mean that this week let that hold you back. Continue with that forward momentum and know you have the strength to do what you would most need to do that benefits you and for those in those circumstances in your life that matters. As those energies that can be a bit heavy and challenging, you're still pushing through and you have as you have in the past. That's where that higher wisdom comes from. That's where cherish the moment comes from, is being present in your moment, your experiences, and integration of energy, emotions, but bringing it into tangible effort and thought and feeling and discernment. It's all the elements in one and the same. And that brings us to death. Now, death the message for this, of course, it's a major arcana card, so it's a key, a major door, a connection. Like I said, a threshold. This collective has had their foot through the threshold for quite a while now, including myself, but has not fully stepped through to changes and transitions. There's many loose ends and knots that have to be untied from the past, from past traumas, past interactions, things we have learned, things that have been ingrained to us, things that we may or may have not done, fears, um, health or mental issues, emotional issues. We're all humans here, um, or at least hopefully, if you're watching this, besides spirits, I'm sure. Uh, so yes, it's the recognizing that what you need to let go of so you can step through that transition and have that opportunity. It's knocking at your door. Death is knocking at the door, not to take you away and take you out of your human life experience or vessel, but knocking as an opportunity to say, here's a beginning. You must let go of what is ending. Otherwise, it will be ended for you and you will advance through the tower. And no one wants an unexpected tower moment. Tower can be liberating and enlightening and help rebuild. But to be honest, you can embrace death and transition, change, and transmute your past experiences into the present, like cherishing the moment. So, the advice this week and the guidance is saying, despite adversity, despite all the hard work and feeling getting close to burnout, don't allow yourself to burn out. Use that strength, that will that you have, and use it mindfully with awareness and reallocating your energy through your experiences and actions and what you can do. Realize that you are and have been for quite a while now, if not for years, in transitory phases, you're wrapping up the ends to be beginnings as we're all aging. Our experiences in the world around us and our reaction to the world around us are changing, and that we must deal with moment to moment, day to day. But we can cherish what we have, what we've created, and continue to do so this week, despite feeling a bit challenged and worn out, and feeling obviously different levels of emotional, mental, physical, and energetical, and even spiritual wounding throughout the way. And that is just what experience is. But also, celebrate. Celebrate your relationships. Celebrate your wins. Do recognition. Self praise and gratitude goes a long way. Now, for yourself, first and foremost, that's not arrogance, that's recognition, that is truth, because you're the one living this life and this human experience, but also those around you that actually matter, those relationships, those experiences, that energetic flow. Celebrate your wins, cherish your moments. Know that you are continuing to obtain wisdom through the higher experience that you have. Again, higher education doesn't necessarily mean college. You're getting degrees and all that stuff, or whatever else, or diplomas or certificates of this. Higher education comes with listening to yourself, your gut, your instincts, the knowledge you've attained, your experiences, and what you continue to learn, and your guides and whatever your spiritual belief um, guides you towards and through what feels right, what you know, what seems truthful, your truth. Your path is your path, my path is my path, type of thing. No one else is living your life in your body like you are, so remember that. Um, just be present, like cherish the moment, move through, continue to let go, step through the threshold, take the actions despite being hesitant, release the hesitance, release the fear, knowing that, and have faith in yourself and what you're being guided towards. And with that, I'm certain this collective will have an effective, empowered week. I want to thank you all for watching and being present. And as always, stay strange.